Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and because I haven't said it yet, Happy New Year. I know it's almost February now, but Happy New Year. So today we are doing the second installment of the Drawing Classical Paintings in My Style series. As you probably saw in the title of the video, today's classical painting is going to be The Girl with the Pearl Earring by Johannes Vermeer. It's an absolute classic, and it is a painting that's featured on pretty much almost every list that I saw of the top 10 most famous paintings in the world. I'm super excited for this one, as it is right down my alley, as in it's a portrait. So yeah, before we get into the speed paint, let's hear a quick word from today's sponsors. Today's sponsor is one I'm very excited for, and it is Lofree. If you guys have seen any studio vlog of mine for the past 2 years, you'll probably recognize this keyboard, as I have been using it non-stop since then. Lofree makes incredibly high quality retro style keyboards, home and desk accessories, and they have the most gorgeous color collections for you to pick from. I ordered this adorable atmosphere lamp from their milk tea collection for myself for Christmas, and I love it to bits. I also got these crazy soft and beautiful makeup brush sets that makes getting ready in the morning just so much more enjoyable. Lofree are currently running a Prepare Your Valentine's Gift campaign with some amazing coupons for you to use, the ones on screen right now, as well as a surprise box if you'd like to get your hands on some gorgeous retro tech, including the new limited edition chocolate keyboard. Head on over to lofree.co to get browsing. Links will be in the description. Thank you to Lofree for supporting the channel. So if you missed the first video of the series, not only will there be a little link over here for you to watch it, but basically this is a series where I take very famous classical paintings and redraw them in my style as a sort of a study or a little drawing exercise, while giving you guys some very cool, interesting facts and just an overall background on these classical paintings and their artists. So without any further ado, let's get into today's redraw. So, as I said, today we're going to be redrawing The Girl with the Pearl Earring by Johannes Vermeer. It's a painting that has enamored so many around the world, including myself, when I was studying him in high school. While I was doing some research about this painting and Vermeer himself, I actually found some super interesting facts that I think will interest you as well. So yeah, let's get into it. So The Girl with the Pearl Earring is an oil painting on canvas completed in 1665. The actual years that it took to paint this piece are unknown for some reasons I will get into in a bit. It is one of Johannes Vermeer's more well-known pieces, and right as it says on the name, it depicts an imaginary girl in a dress and wearing a large pearl earring. Pretty straight to the point, no beating around the bush here. The painting permanently resides in Mauritshuis Museum in The Hague, Netherlands, as Vermeer was in fact Dutch. Also, apologies for any mispronunciations of any Dutch words in this video, I'm so sorry. I got a lot of the following information from the Mauritshuis Museum website itself, so yeah, if you guys would like to read a bit more on this, I will leave, of course, all the links down there in the description box. So I actually lied to you earlier when I called this painting to be a portrait, as it is in fact a trony, which means a painting of an imaginary figure. As written in the Mauritshuis Museum page, quote, "Tronies depict a certain type of character, in this case a girl in exotic dress, wearing an oriental turban and an improbably large pearl in her ear," end quote. To further showcase how this painting would have been imagined by Vermeer is that, quote, 17th century Dutch girls did not wear turbans. With this accessory, Vermeer has given the girl an oriental air, end quote. He most probably had a model sitting in and pose to get the general shape and proportions of the figure and lighting, etc. But Vermeer was also known to use himself as a model for a lot of his paintings. See guys, reference is very important. All the greats do it. The pearl in this painting is actually too massive to be a real one, so it is most probably just an imitation pearl. Experts who examined the painting have explained that Vermeer painted the iconic pearl with only 2 brushstrokes of white paint. Quote, "One at the bottom to reflect the color and a thick dab at the top. There is nothing more, not even a silver hook," end quote. I think that's pretty fascinating. like it does make sense that he would manage to depict the entire like focus of the painting with only the lighting strokes, as he was, quote, the master of light, end quote. I think it's really cool that he just did 2 little strokes and pearl. There it is. The Mauritius Museum actually has this insane interactive 10 billion pixel image panorama of the painting that you can explore online and see the most insanely up-close cracks in the painting. I'll leave the link to this page down in the description box, and I highly recommend you check it out. I had tons of fun having a playthrough on it, just moving it around and zooming in on various pieces of the painting. It also has some cool 3D bits you can use to see, like, for example, a perfect cross-section of the painting. Anyways, it's just super fun and interesting. So now I wanted to talk a little bit about Vermeer himself, as his story as an artist is a little bit unusual. I got a lot of the following information from the metmuseum.org. Johannes Vermeer was a Dutch painter born in 1632 and died in 1675. Quote, with Rembrandt and Frans Hals, Vermeer ranks amongst the most admired of all Dutch artists, but he was much less well known in his own day and remained relatively obscure until the end of the 19th century. End quote. In fact, The Girl with the Pearl Earring was not known to be one of his works to the general public until 1881, almost 200 years after it was painted. Vermeer was not well known in his lifetime, with only having produced around 45 works, with only 36 of them being known as his to this day. A lot of his works were acquired by collectors in Delft and such, so he was mostly just locally known. And on top of this, Vermeer's teacher is unknown, and as far as we know, he had little to no pupils. So yeah, most people think he was self-taught, as his father's early death left him in a lot of debt, so he could not obviously afford a teacher of any kind. He started making a name for himself and married into wealth, which allowed him to support his large family for a while, although he did unfortunately die very poor and had a miserable last few years due to the downfall of the Dutch economy of the early 1670s. Yeah, sucks. Vermeer painted almost exclusively women as subjects, which I may or may not relate to on a deep level. He was also a huge fan of using ultramarine in almost all his paintings. You might notice that there is always some big bright blue element in most of his works, like for example the headscarf that she's using here in The Girl with a Pearl Earring. These were all painted with ultramarine, the most expensive blue pigment available in the 17th century. It was made from the precious stone lapis lazuli. So, yeah, must have been really expensive paint. So getting to how this painting became known to the public, which is quite an interesting story. It was, quote, discovered by a cultural official and art collector at an auction in 1881. The painting caught their attention on that day, and tradition has it that even though the painting showed signs of wear and neglect, the cultural official Victor de Stuurs identified it as a Vermeer. In reality, the painting was probably just too dirty to be properly appraised in an auction, and then Vermeer's identity and signature was shown clearly later on during the cleanup operation. I'll leave the links to all the websites and, all the resources that I used and mentioned in this video down in the description if you'd like to go do some further reading on this piece and Vermeer himself. I definitely would encourage you to do so, as there's just so much more about him and his art that I could not possibly fit all into one voiceover. But yeah, I had so much to talk about the original painting today that I barely talked about my own redraw. But yeah, as you can see, I tried to reimagine his lighting techniques and just the overall, almost airbrushed, soft nature of his subjects in my version. I wanted to use my, quote, rules of painting with his in hand and created this sort of love child, I guess. As per the first video in the series, The Birth of Venus, I did my redraw on Procreate, as, I don't know, I just always find it so fun to try and recreate a traditional medium artwork in a digital context and see how different and similar they can look at the same time. So yeah, I hope I did it justice. I really enjoyed making this painting. It was super fun, not as stressful as the first one that had just so many elements and so many subjects. So it was really nice to take it easy on this one. But yeah, it was just a simple, you know, portrait study, and it was really nice using all of these more muted colors and greens and yellows that I'm not very used to using. As you guys may notice from seeing a lot of my works, I'm more of like a purples and blues kind of gal. So yeah, it was definitely a nice exercise to use all of these greens and just create a very different kind of hue in this piece. As per usual, I also found it super fun to do all of these clothing folds and just all of this fabric art. I'm just such a huge fan of how all of the, you know, the big artists back in the day, they just really went ham on all the folds and the clothing, and I really love that. I just love drawing clothes and folds as well, so it's always a pleasure to do a lot of that in this series. But yeah, all in all, that was it. That was my redraw. Let me know which paintings you'd like me to put on the list for this series. Comment them down there in the comment section. I'd love to hear your suggestions. Let me know if you liked my redraw as well. Here is them both side by side. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my little voiceover with the interesting facts. So yeah guys, that was basically it. I really hope you enjoyed this edition of drawing classical paintings in my style, and I will leave a poll down there in the description box for you guys to vote on which painting I should do next in the next episode. I'm also selling some limited edition gold foil prints of the first drawing of the series, the Birth of Venus one, so if you guys would like to check them out, there will be once again a link down there in the description box. And yeah, my shop just reopened for the new year about a few days ago by the time you're watching this video, so yeah, I would be really happy if you guys could check it out. The link will be down there. There's tons of new goodies, including that Birth of Venus painting print, and yeah, just lots of new goodies on the shop. Thank you again for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Again, if you missed the first video of the series, there will be a link on screen right now for you to watch it, and I can't wait to see which one you guys vote on for the next episode. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye!